Mayor Marty Walsh. Thank you, Darrell. Yeah, 13 months and about 15 feet of snow. It's enough for me. I'm all set with that. I want to thank, first of all, I know this panel is a great discussion. I apologize that I was a little late for this. I know that last year we had a discussion talking about business. This year's another discussion. And I think just the fact, Darrell mentioned new leadership and changes, and you can already see and feel changes going on in the city in a lot of ways. And I think that that's encouraging. A lot of the changes because a lot of the people in this room who have been in the business community for a long time that pushed and forced change. And I can start naming people and I'll get in trouble, but you push and force change. And I remember even 3 years ago when I ran the building trades, people coming to me saying, you know, we need to make the building trades more inclusive, and we're able to create a program, Building Pathways. And in the beginning of that program, some people said, well, it's not enough people we're not getting enough people calling the trades. And when we did the first class, we graduated the first class of Building Pathways. I want to say there was, I think, 15 people in the first class, so that means 15 people in the trades. And now 3 years later, there's over 150 people that went through the program that are in the building trades. So you think about making changes, that's important to do to make those changes. But in Boston, just to kind of, and this might have been, if it already was just said, I apologize for repeating it, we've had tremendous growth in Boston. Right now, the unemployment rate is under 5% for the first time in 8 years. And we had this conversation today at the Conference of Mayors. It's under 5%, but it's not under 5% in every neighborhood. And we have to remember that. We have to make sure that we talk about prosperity and doing great things, and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of good numbers, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about some bad numbers that we have to work on. We need to make sure everyone has a chance at success. Everyone has a chance for employment. Everyone has a chance to raise their family. Everyone has a chance to buy a home or pay rent. That's what we have to do, and it's important for us to understand that, and that means growing business, not just businesses, but also growing individuals and giving people the opportunity to be able to put themselves and their family in a position to be successful. You know, we look at individuals and we recognize that they can be doing more, we can be doing more in the city and the state, and all of us can be doing a lot more to help people. Boston still ranks high in measure of inequality, and that's something that has been that case for a long time. We are third in the nation according to the most recent bookings report, which means for a diverse city, 52% of our people in the city are people of color. 27% are foreign born. And that's very concerning when you think about the fact of the unemployment rate and who's affected by a high unemployment rate. The Corporation for Economic Development last year worked on with Citi on a study of anti-poverty. They found that 46% of Boston households don't have enough assets to cover 3 months of expenses, compared to 44% nationally. When you think about that, you know, we just came out of a bad downturn. But what's more alarming is this. In Boston, it raises to 69% for black households and 75% for Latino households, which means people don't have 3 months of savings, which means people are living week to week. In some cases, people don't have a job to live week to week. This is a national problem, but this is a Boston problem. And it's also Standard & Poor's, one of the economic companies, experts, said that it's slowing down our economy. And that's something that we talk about what's happening in the city and how great things are and how much construction and how much development, how much we have, and we think we're out of a recession. But if we could address with that income inequality question, if we could address that issue, can you imagine what our economy in Boston would be if we could address that one issue? In Boston, you know, we're taking the lead in a lot of ways of trying to fix these problems. We launched the Office of Financial Empowerment, giving residents the ability and the tools they need to empower them to combat inequality, to help them access capital, and financial education and financial services. You know, I've changed that we're being innovative and data-driven, so we have understandings of how we track this. 1,800 people. Our office opened in October. 1,800 people in Boston went to that office for tax advice, for financial advice, for help on that. When you think about it, 1,800 people. We have 640,000 people living in the city of Boston. Half of those, 320,000, are living with less than 3 months of employment. When you think about 1,800, we're trying to go out throughout the city of Boston so we can continue to grow these offices. I just had 25 mayors in to Boston this week, today actually and yesterday, to talk about this very issue in the city. And I sat with mayors from Seattle. I sat with Mayor de Blasio from New York, Mayor Murray from Seattle, Mayor Rawlings Blake from Baltimore. And the common theme amongst our conversations was that the numbers that I told you about the inequity in the Black and Latino community are the same in those cities. The mayor from Austin, Texas came in, he was talking about his city, about how black families are moving out because they can't afford to live. He said it's not even a fact that people are being priced out, people are leaving Austin, Texas. And they're trying to do some things in Texas to change that because people are moving out to the suburbs. That's not what we have to do as a society. We can't allow people to move out because they can't make ends meet. We have to do better than that.